This is our first coaching call, right?
First, the one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yes, this is our first one-on-one.
Well, cool. I'll take the opportunity to share with you how we do all this. So, are you near a computer? Do you have access to one?
Yeah, I can get in the house real quick. I was still
Yeah.
in the garage.
No rush. I'll talk you through it while you get it loaded up.
Okay,
Garage
It'll
door.
just be easy for you to see what I got going on this side.
no problem.
What's your email address?
G as in golf at AOL.com. And don't laugh. I still use AOL. Yes.
Uh, Solid. Uh, all right. I'm sharing this coaching tool with you. It's just an Excel spreadsheet, or should I say workbook. And I'll walk you through some of the parts of this, but this is just a tool that we use to keep track of what you're doing in your business to make sure we set out goals that are workable for you,
Uh-huh.
and then we can hold you accountable to the targets that you set out each week.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, do you have the classes that we have to take? Can I have like? Is that a website we got going, or is that like an app or something?
For your real estate courses,
Yeah, the courses. Yeah.
yeah, I'll walk you through that right now. So, let's see here. I want to take you, I'm gonna go to school real quick. I want to make sure you have access to school.
Um, I think I did. I opened it a couple times already.
All right.
I saved the link. Brian gave it to me last time we met.
So what I'm doing is just once you log into school, you're just going to go over to the classroom. And once you click on the classroom, you got these two options, either the training plan, which is all the steps you need to take to actually build your business,
Okay.
and then the onboarding stuff, which is more, you're going to do a little bit of both of these, but the onboarding is where we're going to talk about your licensing stuff, which is where you're at.
Okay.
All right. So just real quick, everything you need is right here. I mean, this is like step for step. So just a heads up, it's going to take about 6 weeks after you get your classes done before you're going to get an exam date because they have like scheduling out about 6 weeks.
Okay.
In order to get started with classes, all you got to do is click on the link here and that'll take you to Allied Real Estate School. And then once you go here, all these pop ups. Uh, yeah, grab your discount, blah, 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 blah. All you're going to do is go to because this takes you straight to California courses. All
All right.
you need is the career essentials, and you can just use this code right here, Bloom 40. $120 gets you all three of the courses that you need online. It's the cheapest deal anywhere, and it's
Okay.
easy. Like these courses are basically open book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. These are just NKO courses. They're so easy.
Okay.
So you do the three of those, and at the end of each one of the courses, it'll have an exam
Mm-hmm.
and you can do it open book. So you just open the exam in one tab and then you go back and you open your allied courses in another tab. It
Okay.
doesn't know that the two are open. And
Right.
so you just answer the questions open book straight from the reading material.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you can't fail. If you fail, you definitely should just not be a real estate agent.
All right.
Yeah. So that's quick and easy. The way that these work is there's a minimum amount of time. They're so easy that you could get them done in like a couple of days, but they have a minimum amount of time that you have to spend on them. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like 18 days, I think, per each course. So you can do two at a time, but they're still going to dock you for the total like 36 days for both of them.
Right.
So you can do two at once, but that's it. And you got to wait 36 days before you take your third one. So it's going to be a minimum like what, 54 days from
Right.
start to finish or whatever. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, 54. And then after that, once you're done, you just download your certificates and then you just follow the steps here. So you'll pass those classes, 18 days.
Hmm.
Uh, then you're going to sign up for e-licensing right here. And you'll just create a profile. This is through the California's Department of Real Estate. So you're getting a license through the state to practice real estate. You need the courses in order to qualify to apply for the license exam.
Right.
So go through here, you'll just follow the steps. It's real easy. Create your profile.
That's after I'm done with the courses, right?
Correct. And then what you're going to do is once you create that profile, it's going to ask you to upload your certificates. You'll upload them and you'll choose exam and license. And they'll ask you for a payment once you do that for 305 bucks.
Okay.
And this is a preview of the form it's going to ask you to fill out, but it's going to prompt you to fill it out on the computer. But these are some of
Right.
the questions that are in here. So, uh, completed courses, it's going to ask you for your documentation. It's going to tell you here about the fees, and it's going to have you fill in all your personal information,
Okay.
where you're going to want to take your exam. And one thing that's when we'll go back over this later, but you're going to do no broker affiliation when you fill out when you fill out the form,
Okay.
right? So what that'll do is that'll allow you to pass the exam and then be a
Hmm.
free agent, and
Right.
then we can take you to EXP and import you. But if
Oh,
you select a broker first, it makes
close
a
everything off.
process more complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's in here as well. Down here at the bottom, select non-working status in order to be a free agent, and then get pulled into EXP.
Right.
All right. Now, depending on when this goes down, if you already have your DD 214,
Hmm.
uh once you get ready to like apply for your exam date,
Hmm.
if you have your DD 214, you can just print off that form right here that we just pulled up.
Yeah.
This one. You could fill this out and then just mail it in with a copy of your DD 214 according to
Uh-huh.
this paragraph, and they'll expedite it so you get ahead of the line for your exam.
Oh, wow.
If you're still active duty when you get ready to do this, you can actually, before you go to apply for the exam, you can
Yeah.
actually call this number and tell them that you're going to apply for the exam, and they can push up your exam date too. That's what Xavier did.
Okay.
So,
So the exam is like actually in person. You have to go to like a center or something. And
yep, it's just like an advancement exam. It's
oh, okay.
proctored, it's in a room. They make you take off your jewelry, your watch, you got to leave your cell phone in the car, like the whole thing. And then they sit you down, they start the clock, and everybody takes their exam. And then afterwards, when it's done, they'll actually give you your results like then and there.
Hmm.
So, if you pass, they'll give you a letter that basically says you pass. If you
Hmm.
fail, well, they give you like an envelope and they make you walk outside and open it.
So do you guys have like a study material or something, or like?
Yeah, so you can do a couple of things. You can go to Allied and go to their exam prep, and you can create these custom exams, prep exams. You can actually even talk to uh, Brian because he just went through this, and you can pick his brain on how best to study. My advice is really practice on the terminology, the definitions, because if you understand the definitions, then it'll be easier to answer a lot of the questions because people get tripped up on the terminology.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
But if Brian can pass, you can pass.
I'll
Uh,
I'll I'll, uh, I'll connect with him and see what he got.
yeah.
He's like the last person that took it. Like he
Yeah, he
just took it.
just he just passed like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it for the license part, just getting through the DRE. Once you get that's all done, and then they're like, hey, officially you passed. Then
Mm-hmm.
this next chapter right here is how we get together and go through and get you onboarded with EXP. And then after that, we go over to the San Diego Association of Realtor and get you your MLS access and your zip forms and all that stuff. So it's all here step by step. No need to stress.
All right.
The other side of life, we got the training plan. And what this is, just to give you an overview, is I broke the real estate business down into the simplest five buckets that there are. And this is, I mean, I learned this over 10 years. You hear
Is
a
that
lot
how
of
we
people,
pass the test too, or no?
no, this is completely irrelevant from the test. This is where you
Oh,
actually
okay.
will really, the test is just a stupid hurdle you got to get through. So they can say, hey, you've got the minimum knowledge and like brain power to get through the process for us to say, yeah, you have the right to go and try to be a real estate agent. You just have to get that out of the
Oh,
way,
okay.
right?
One of those.
Yeah, nothing you learn from the real estate courses is really going to help you in actually building your real estate business. You
Wow.
know, it's crazy. It's like, oh, you go through your, your training for your rate, but then you get to your, your unit
No command.
and you
Yeah.
do none of it. It's the same thing, right? So I tell
Understood.
people like just get that stupid license out of the way, brain dump all that crap. And this is where you're going to really learn how to do your business, right?
Wow.
So if you break your business down into five buckets, you're going to hear a lot of people talk about, oh, real estate's all about lead generation and lead follow up and blah, 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 and all these different things. Scrap all that. Let's scrap all that. It's simpler than that. You've got prospecting, which is going and meeting new people, getting
Right.
new names and numbers and motivation. That's it, right? Just bumping into new people you've never met before. Converting, turning those new people that you just met into willing and able buyers and sellers. Transacting is when those willing and able buyers and sellers sign a
Mm-hmm.
contract and go through an escrow. That's the three parts of what we're doing. And you think about it like an assembly line. You get raw material, that's
Right.
prospecting. You're digging up raw ore. Converting, you are transforming that ore into steel. Transacting, you're selling the steel to the open market. Like that's the three parts of what we're doing. And to put it into better clarity for you, 80% of the job is prospecting. So people who are shy, people who don't want to make phone calls, people who don't want to go meet new people, they have a hard time in this business because without raw material, you can't make things, right?
Definitely.
10% of it is converting and 10% of it is transacting. A lot
That's
of
the easy.
people,
That's the easy part.
yeah, people think, oh, if I meet one person on the street, then I need to spend the rest of my life trying to turn that person into a buyer or a seller. Wrong. We don't we It's not alchemy. We don't turn people into buyers and sellers. If they are a buyer and a seller, we identify that, we help them get there, but that's it. We shouldn't be like spending a year trying to convince somebody to buy or sell a house. But everybody does it, and it's a mistake they all make. But if you spend your energy just meeting new people, those people are standing around with their hand raised like, I want to buy or sell a house. They're just waiting for you to come find them. That's it. The other stuff about what to say to them to help them, how to have a consultation with them to figure out what their goals are, walking them through lending and sharing their options and stuff. That's what you got me for. I'll help you with all that stuff. But what I
Mhm.
can't do is I can't go out there and meet 300 new people. But that's what you have to do.
Right.
And you'll learn the other stuff, the technical things along the way. But without anybody to go practice on, you'll never learn those things. So you got to go find your own customers, you bring them in, and then we'll convert them and we'll transact them. The other two buckets, because you're a business owner and because you're a sales athlete, you have business development. Where am I spending my money? Am I keeping track of my books, my expenses? Should I hire an assistant? Should I spend money on marketing campaigns and ads? Should I spend money on flyers? How many clients am I taking this year? Is that as many as I want? Am I making the kind of revenue that I want from this business? Right. Am I am I putting am I getting more money out than I'm putting in? Just basic business owner stuff. If you were a plumber, if you were a handyman, if you were a doctor, all this still applies. It doesn't matter what job you're in. When you're self-employed, you have to run your business. And then the last part is the personal development. Personal development is you're a salesperson, and it's a hard job. It's a great job because you can make NFL level money if you treat yourself like an NFL pro athlete. But if you don't, and you don't train, and you don't put effort into it, and you don't work on your mindset, and you don't read books, and you don't try to improve every day, well, then you're going to be the bottleneck in your business. Sometimes you are just naturally good and you can get out there and do your job, but it builds up stress, anxieties, the demons, right? Well, personal development is all about, and what's interesting is I take a lot of what we learned from the military and those coping mechanisms and the cognitive behavioral therapy, all that stuff. We import all that. We use it here the same way. How you deal with trauma, how you deal with a chronic high level of stress, breathing exercises, the importance of getting exercise and fitness, how to reprogram your thoughts around certain things so that you can be strong and continue to move forward when things are difficult, right? How to have
Mm.
tricky conversations with people. That's all in the personal development. So the way that you're going to go through this course is I don't want you to go through linearly. Like I don't want you to open prospecting and then go all the way through before
Right.
going to converting. I want you to kind of take this whole thing and turn it on its side. Okay. You're going to do the first couple chapters of prospecting
Okay.
while you do the first couple chapters of converting, while you do the first couple chapters of transacting. The way this works
Oh,
is it starts from easiest to most advanced. You're layering on as you get better and better and better. This book is going to, I mean, this is your whole career right here in this book. You can make retirable income off of what's here in this book. And you don't even have to get halfway through this stuff in order to make six, approaching seven figures if you just do the stuff that's in here well. That's it. The real estate business is not complicated. It's difficult and it's uncertain, but it's not that complicated. So what you'll do
okay.
is go through, do the first couple chapters of each one of these, implement the things, practice them. And when we get together every week, I'm going to challenge you on these things and want to make sure that you're following along and doing the steps that are outlined in the book. It's easy. You're going to tell me what difficulties you're running into with certain things. We're going to talk about it and I'm going to work you through it. And then you're going to go out and challenge yourself and add a little bit more and a little bit more.
Mm.
Over time, you're going to rise up and you're going to go from being an apprentice where you're doing about a third of everything that's in the book. So then you're going to be a journeyman where you've done more than half of everything that's in the book. And then by the time you're ready to build a team of your own, you're going to be a master and you're going to have covered most of the book. And I'll be continuing to add chapters through that period of time. So it's going to continue to grow. But by the time you hit like mastery level with this, you'll have a business that you can pass off to your kids.
Wow.
It's all here and it's in simple terms. So I wanted to introduce you to this because this is going to be your training guide moving forward.
Okay.
Once we get you licensed, we'll spend a lot more time on it. Right now, you're going to be kind of jumping back and forth between the things Tawanda's got you doing on the ground, taking your licensing stuff, dealing with the VA in your life because that's a big portion of it. All your appointments and medical and dealing with your family and separating and all that stuff. I understand that's a big part of it. And then also chipping away at some of these things.
Okay.
Okay. So let's flip back over to this goal tracker. All the things you see over here, B11 down to B18,
Hmm.
these are where you're going to be doing most of your work, right? So I've taken the most common prospecting strategies that you're going to use as a new agent, and I put them over here on the side so we can put some plans in place for you to start working on each one of these different categories. You're going to learn more about this as we go. So this is just an introduction. Don't worry about having to memorize everything. But what I want you to do ultimately is I want you to try to build your business in each one of these categories, from the geo farm all the way to open houses. You're going to try these things out. You're going to experiment with them. You're going to stick it out for a little while. A couple of these are going to take off for you. A couple of them are going to drain you and you're going to want to stop doing them. But we won't know until you try. So each week, we're going to chip away at a little bit of each one of these categories, and then we're going to field the results and see which one's working for you. The ones that work, the 2 or 3 that are getting the work done, we're going to focus on those, and then we'll let the others pass. And that's how we're going to shape up a business that works for you and your lifestyle. When I first got started in this business, I would ask people, how do I do it? And they'd say, oh, well, you got to go do mailers. That's the way to do it. And other people are like, oh, you got to go door knock. That's the way to do it. And other people would be like, oh, you got to buy leads. That's where the money's at. All those answers were right, but they weren't right for me, or they weren't right for me at that time in that phase of my business. It was good information improperly applied, right? So over time, we figured out, wait a second, every agent's different, and they're going to be different from the time they start to when they're mid-level in their career, when they're late in their career. Different things are going to be appropriate at different times. So I've cut out all the nonsense and just distilled it down to the most reliable basic starting points for you. And we're going to try these things out. So let me just quickly describe what some of these are. A geo farm is where you isolate a piece of territory, like geographical land. You say, hey, I'm going to own this neighborhood, this community, this piece of property. Like you might say there's a 150 unit planned development near where I live of nice houses. I want to own that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a plan to go there every single week, every single month, every single quarter, knock on doors, hand out flyers, meet people walking their dogs, and I'm going to make them know me. I'm going to be the mayor of that little town so that when somebody says, hey, I want to sell a house in this community, boom, I'm the guy they go to, right? 50 to 100 doors, plenty. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to take on 300 doors, but then they only go and knock like 3 doors and never do it again. Like, what's the point? Do something manageable, right? It's a 6 month to a year commitment with a geo farm. But when you do that, you will get listing opportunities. You'll be able to sell a house, make 2.5 to 3.5% commission on it as a listing agent. That is a really great ROI on your time. And once you're there and you start to get those deals, it's not like you get one and they stop. If you commit the 6 months to a year, they keep going after that. It's like planting seeds and a tree grows, and the tree grows and it bears fruit over and over and over again. Everybody quits. They try it for like a week or two, and then they're like, it didn't work, and then they walk away. But if you stick it out, you're going to get fruit forever. Some people just don't have the DNA for it. They hate the idea of disturbing people at their homes. I get that. But people like Lee Dawkins, she's a bubbly little butterfly. She loves it. It's very hard for you to open the door and talk to her and not feel warm and fuzzy inside. That's just who she is, right?
Mm.
She's great for it. Maybe you and I, being large males, that might not work out for us. We might just scare people when we knock on the door. I don't know, right? But you got to
Uh,
try it. You got to try it. The next one is a network farm. Network farm is going to be right up our alley. This is all the groups that you're in where you bump into people. If you're into jujitsu, you got all the people at your jujitsu camp. If you're into guns, off-roading, veteran-centric stuff like the VFW, DAV, you got groups of people around there that you connect with on a regular basis. If you've got kids and the stuff they're into, their soccer, their football, their whatever swimming team, and all the other parents that are there, the PTA, you got all access to all those networks as well. What we're going to do is we're going to isolate all those communities that you belong to that you never thought about. And we're going to put a plan in there for how you're going to be a little bit more social when you go to those things. So instead of just sitting on the bench staring at your kids and, scrolling through your phone, we're going to make a plan to rub elbows with 1 or 2 new people every week you go there and just let them know you do real estate. You don't necessarily have to sell a house to those people, but you can get referrals from those people rather easily because if they know you from something that you have in common, it becomes a warm handoff to a new person who wants to buy or sell real estate.
All right.
What's interesting is the geo farm is something you can see. You can see how many houses are there. You can see how many people are in that community, but accessing them is a little bit difficult. With a network farm, you can't see the network because you don't know who's connected to who until you start to bump into them. And next thing you know, like people are passing around your number, people are texting you out of the blue, people are calling you out of the blue, and you're like, oh yeah, you know so and so, that's cool. Or they're finding you and adding you on Facebook because they got connected to you by so and so. It's like walking around blind, but bumping
Mhm.
into people in the dark. And you're like, oh, I never even saw you there. That's great. And you're going to get most of your leads through that network one way or another. And it's not even hard. The cool thing about it is you're just living your life as normal. You're just going to the places you go anyway. You're just saying one or two extra things every time you go there to make it a more sociable process. That's it.
Hmm.
Next one, social media. When I say social media, I mean network social media, not discovery social media. I don't want you to be the next TikTok star, creating a channel about cooking or dancing or political ranting. None of that. Those people who get millions of followers on like TikTok, they're doing it because they're giving people entertainment. And that's not what we're here to do. Yeah, that can get a lot of attention and that's helpful, but those people aren't going to buy a house from you. They're probably not even in your market area. They might not even be somebody that's able to buy or sell a house, right? Some
Hmm.
kid, some 17-year-old in Taiwan is not going to help you with your business here. If you sold socks, okay, cool. Then those could be customers because you could ship them a pair of socks. But real estate's a super local thing. So we're not worried about trying to get a whole bunch of fame through, social media channels for, our content. What we are trying to do is connect with people through the network of social media. So that's Facebook and LinkedIn. Real names of real humans, and then you can see that they have real friends that they're connected with, also with real headshots and real names. We're going to leverage that by continuing to add new people all the time on those platforms and talk to them. We're going to update our social media page to reflect that we're a real estate agent, where we work. We're going to put some content up there that it shares with people who we are and why they should work with us as real estate agents. And then we're going to go through and just add friends of friends every single day, 5 days a week. Just do five a day. And before you know it, 6 months, a year down the road, you got 2,500 people on your Facebook and your LinkedIn, and they're just constantly dropping in. Hey, what's up with the market? Hey, I'm thinking about buying a house. Hey, I'm thinking about blah blah blah. Or hey, I'm moving to San Antonio. How much is my house worth? These things they just pop off. And the beauty of it is for military, we have a huge outsized presence on Facebook and LinkedIn. We're probably the most prolific group on there because other people our age are not on Facebook like that. They might be in little like silos and they might be there for like political commentary and goofy stuff. But the military people are there because Facebook has found its way into our military community. It's our communication method, like we were talking about, between the boat and home. We're hooked on
Mhm.
that. Even 18-year-olds that are first joining the military are on Facebook. Otherwise, they would never be. So that's where our bread and butter is going to come from. So we'll talk about how to go through and maximize that so we can get tons of business. Your sphere is the people that are closest to you. That's your friends, your family, the people at church, the ones that you're closest to. As soon as you turn that switch on, I'm open for business, expect your sister, your brother, your mom, your wife, your ex-wife, your buddies that you see on the weekends. Expect all of them to be like, bro, I'm gonna put your name out everywhere I go. This is you go to the barber shop, you talk to the barber, say, hey man, share my card. Like all those things, those people that are closest to you, not necessarily in the networks, but just in your daily walk, like even the mailman. You ever stopped and asked the mailman if he wanted to buy or sell a house? He's right in front of you.
No.
He's right in front of you. I used to do this like constantly when I first got started. I would pull up to a taco joint. They'd hand me my burrito and I'd be like, hey, you want to buy or sell a house? And they'd be like, habla no español inglés, but house, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'll figure it out. Nobody's safe, right? Anybody you bump into on a regular basis, they're a potential buyer or seller. We'll talk about how to put them into the system and talk through that. And then open houses. Open houses are like the most traditional way to meet new clients there is. Because all you're doing is taking a house, people want the house, and you're opening it up, and people have to talk to you when they walk in the front door. You make them talk to you, whether they want to or not. They got to talk to you. If it's for 2 seconds or 20 minutes, they got to talk to you. So leveraging that to try to get new buyers, like one or two a weekend.
I thought
Give it.
open house was. I thought open house. I'm sorry. I thought open house was through you. Like you tell us, hey, there's an open house. Like how the open house works. I thought.
Yeah, it's a good question. So, and I'm glad that it appears that we're providing those open houses because that means that Tawanda is doing a great job supporting you guys. She's doing what you should be doing for yourself, which is going on the MLS, finding homes that are available to show that are active listings, and then asking that listing agent if you can hold it open over the weekend. And here's
Oh, I think she told me. Yes. Okay,
this
that's
is
how. I thought you
yeah.
was the one that. Okay.
When we have our own listings, 100%. But Tawanda has hookups with all kinds of listing agents in the industry because she's such a social butterfly. Everybody loves her. A
Yeah.
lot of people
Good point.
take listings, but they take more listings than they can, like, they can't be in more than one place, right? So they might have three listings that are open over a weekend and they can only cover one. Then they call Tawana and say, hey, my clients are expecting me to hold this open because I promised them when I took the listing that I would get exposure, but I can't do it. Can you hold it open for me and then give me the feedback to try to get more buyers in there? So that's why it's a nice work exchange that we do. We try to get buyers and they try to get the house sold, right?
Right. Makes sense.
So yeah, and we'll talk about the strategies. There's a whole process for how to identify open houses that you should take, how to ask the listing agent for permission to do it, how to do it effectively. You got a whole playbook on all that stuff inside of school. But one to two of those a weekend, give it 3, 4 months, you'll have a contract. And then the next two sections is school. Once you get through your license and stuff, we'll focus more on getting through the training program. And then down here, we're just going to document your process for getting through your real estate license courses week after week.
I didn't know there were. So what? Hala. Well, I asked Halala last week about how she's doing at her class, but she was telling me, "Oh, I'm taking my classes now, a little bit at a time." And she said she logged. I didn't know that they were right here on school. She said she logged onto a system. Her class didn't work so well, so she logged on to another system, and
Yeah,
it's working.
went
It's working
through
better. So,
she went through some other course. There are lots of people that provide these courses. Allied Real Estate Schools is just one provider, but there are
oh,
there are other people out there that provide them, right? I don't recommend any of those other guys because every single time I have somebody come through and they're like, "Oh, well, I got hooked up with so and so training program." I was like, "Oh,
uh,
okay, that's cool. Good luck." They'd come
right.
back and be like, "Oh, well, I took all my courses, but I took them too fast, and then they disqualified me. I have to take them all over again."
What?
Or yeah, or they're like, "Oh, well, these." I guess they said the credits don't transfer because it's not an authorized blankety blank or it's not the most updated
Oh,
course and now I have to go retake them again. So you know, I was really flexible with people in the beginning. I'm like, yeah, do whatever, like whatever class, it's your money. But
stick with
after
Ally
all that
better.
drama, I'm just telling people like, look, just flat out, just stop all the nonsense. Go
Right,
to Allied. It's $120 is the cheapest there is anywhere,
right.
and it works every single time. And it's open book. There's just like 99 reasons to do it, none not to. So,
So she never went on Allied. She went somewhere else, and then it didn't work. Then she switched to somebody else. Okay.
and then she switched to Allied. So she's doing Allied now.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay.
Yeah. I had another
Gotcha.
guy. He went all the way through, did all his classes, applied for his exam, submitted his courses. When they reviewed his courses, they said, "Hey, the amount of hours for these courses is not enough. You need to retake the whole course again and then reapply for your exam." That was all three courses. He had to start
Oh,
all over again. And the course provider was just like, sorry, now you got to buy the courses and do it again.
wow.
Yeah, it took
So the
him like
correct
an
way,
extra 3 months.
wow, the correct way of doing it is just to do a couple hours a day or something. Like why they going so fast? Like,
They just gun deck it, because it's so easy. They realize it's just a freaking they realize it's just a an NKO course, and they're like they just go straight to the
oh,
end.
click it.
Click
Okay,
they click through all the pages. With Allied, there's a quiz at the end. So you can just click through all the pages and then take the quiz at the end and then just keep trying it until you pass without reading anything.
right.
And then you go all the way through and then you test out at the end of the book. And so,
But
like Allied, what's cool is they will not let you take the exam until the amount of time has passed. It'll be grayed out until day 18. Well, this other guy, he was with a different course that would let him
uh,
take it before 18 days passed.
right.
And then they let him submit the paperwork. It was so stupid. So they just let him fail. But Allied just literally won't even let you. They're like, until you hit 18 days, we won't even give you opportunity. So
Okay,
you
so
do
you
you
just
can
go
do
through it.
all of it like in a day and then wait 18 days, take the exam, pass it, and then move on to the next one.
Oh, so it still counts, you know,
Yeah.
as
There's
you
a
reading the
certain amount
pages
of
and going
like,
through.
let's see, getting licensed. There's like, let's see, 48 hours of screen time minimum over 18
18
days.
days.
So,
Okay,
like, I don't know, break that down to 4 hours a day. That's 12 days that it's open for 4 hours. So you can just leave it open on your desktop.
right.
It ain't that complicated.
I mean, use your judgment, right?
Hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, just
Yeah,
bang that guy out.
gotcha. Easy, too easy.
Hmm. Let's go back to your business planner. So, however you want to attack that, we're just going to check in periodically and see how you're doing on those things.
All right.
So, I mean, and what we're going to do right now, we're just going to go ahead and put some targets in for you. So, I'm going to go down here. This is today is 5/29 of 25. I'm going to go to real estate courses, and your first target will be to uh, sign up for classes on Allied, and then I don't know, do 4 hours of screen time. Like that's an easy thing that you can get done between now and Thursday of next week.
Okay.
All right. When you This is important too. When you go into school and
Mm-hmm.
you're doing these things, what I want you to do is as you read through one of these, just go up here and click the check box.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can track how much of it you've completed. And what I can do is I can actually go over here and I can go to all my members. Let's see how and oh shit. I can see how much she has done. That's not it. Wait a second.
So you can actually
There it is.
you have admin access, I guess.
Yeah, so I can go right here under her membership and I can see how much of it she's done. She hasn't checked anything off yet. But the more of those boxes that you check off, the more I can see here.
Oh, the progress, right?
Yeah. So let's see. Lee. Let's see how much Lee has done. Lee's still at 0%.
What the heck?
What's
Mm-hmm.
this?
Jeez. Is that the onboarding?
Well, it's all of it, the onboarding and the training.
What's up, Lee? How you doing?
I am doing good. Getting ready for my open house later.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
Look
let
at
me see if
there.
anybody's
Congrats.
on here.
Arky's leading the pack with 5%. How about that?
Ooh.
I thought Archie was already done.
I don't think he's actually checked off any of the boxes is the problem. See, there we go. Cowboys done 68%.
Cowboys is at Xavier, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so if you can check those boxes as you go, then that'll make it easier for us to go
Well,
through and
now that you told me, I will.
yeah.
Wow, with the screen time.
Open houses. Are you scheduled for any open houses this week?
You talking to me or Lee?
You.
Oh,
Lee's
no, no,
just a
no.
fly on the wall. Just forget she's here.
Oh, okay. So Miss T told me about Friday, but I'm actually celebrating my silver anniversary this weekend, so I'll be in Seattle Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, celebrating that 2025 year with my wife, so I won't be in town. But I would have loved going to that open house she has tomorrow,
It's okay.
actually. Yeah.
Taking taking those important family time opportunities, like what's the point of being in this business if it's like just like the military, if it's a sacrifice, like that's not
21
the
years,
point.
man. I missed a lot. So
Yeah.
you
You got a
you
lot to make
said
up
you said
for.
something so important right now. I'm done missing stuff. Yes. So
Yeah. What I want you to do is I want you to build a business that fits a lifestyle that you want. Right? That's exactly what I've done. I live in Ventura. I have all you guys working down in San Diego, and I figured out that if I can provide you guys all the stuff that you need to work down there, in exchange I get to live up here. And I get to spend the hours that I want to spend working and not spend all the time like on the weekends being a slave to clients, right? After 10 years, like I've established a way that I can do that. There's no set way to do this business. All it's completely customizable. You just have to make sure that you put the right stuff in on a consistent basis and make sure that you're actually putting in the effort. Some people are like, oh, I want to work 30 minutes a day. I'm like, just don't bother. Just go get a paper route. You know what I mean? It's not going to work for you 30 minutes a day. But
go do a paper route, man.
yeah, but can you like do a 12-hour day and then take 2 days off and then do 3 4 hours, 3 4 hour days? Yeah, you can do that. You can do 4 on 3 off. You can do a half day every day, 7 days a week. You can do like Lee and have a 9 to 5, but then also be sitting at your desk, like making calls to clients because, like she works a full ass healthcare job and she's
Wow.
layering real estate on top of it. So any way that you want to build this thing, you can build it. And I want to make sure that you do it in a way that's true to you, your family, and makes you happy. You're not, a lot of people are like, oh, just let me grind, grind, grind. Yeah, that'll work for a couple of years. Then when your hair starts falling out and then your relationships fall apart, like you'll realize, like, wait a second, this is not what it's all about. Right. But if you can bring your family along with you and incorporate them into what you do, like have your kids go and help you set up open houses or, like get like we were talking about networking, like you're going to your kids' freaking karate classes and bumping into people. It's easy. You're not missing their karate classes because you're picking up clients while you're watching them do their kicks. Like we can figure this out.
Definitely, it's a method to the madness.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about this too with setting up your sphere, but something I want you to work on, and you can get with Tawanda to help you out with this too, but
What's
we
that?
got to start building up your database. Okay.
Database, you mean contact? Okay, I see what you're saying.
Your
Contact.
contact list. Now, this is in school, and I don't want to lump too much on you at once, but you can do this while you work on the other stuff. Like, because this would basically be like one of those early activities that you do. We'll go over
Yeah.
here to the training plan. We'll go down to prospecting. And the very first one is grooming your sphere of influence. Okay. I won't belabor the point too much on this, but this little chapter right here will tell you how to think about the people that you know, whether they're like your ride or dies that will
Right.
go find you business and recruit for you, the people that are cool with you but don't really spend too much time thinking about you.
Hmm.
C is the people you haven't contacted yet. Like you haven't talked to them in years. They don't know you do real estate.
Hmm.
So what you're going to do, you guessed it, you're going to reach out to those people and remind them, hey, I'm alive. I'm retired. I'm doing real estate. What are you up to?
Mm,
And then of that group of people, you're going to have a bunch of them that either don't answer the phone or they find out you're a real estate agent and they just don't want to talk to you anymore. And that's cool. You're dead to me. Get rid of
right.
them, pull them out of your phone, and move on with life. In order to figure this out, what you need to do is go here and you can like click this and get a copy of this spreadsheet. It's really easy.
Okay.
I'll just do it right now. It pulls it right up.
Uh-huh.
And then you go here. Do you have iPhone?
Yeah.
It's easy. You do this on your phone. Download this on your phone. And what it'll do is it'll allow you to pull all the
Contact
contacts that are
backup.
stored in your phone. Yep. You'll fill it out and then you can email it to yourself. It'll email it to you in a spreadsheet file. And then all you got to do is take the spreadsheet that it gives you and reformat it like this one. It'll take you
Okay.
like seriously like 20 minutes to do that. You just put all the people in here basically in this, in this format.
All right.
Once you put all the people into that format, you're just going to go through and you're just going to talk to those people, right?
Mm,
Ask them about themselves, figure out what's going on in their lives, reintroduce yourself as a real estate agent, tell them what you've been up to. Most of the people in our lives that know us, they know of us more than they actually talk to us. So you're just going to hit them up and then you're going to find out like, are they really cool with me or not? If they're not cool with me and they're just being jerks to me, cool. I'm going to take them out of my database. But if I tell them I do real estate and they're like, bro, a guy at my work wants to sell his house, let me hook you up. Boom. Easy business right there. And you're just going to put those people in. Like, for example, that person that's like, oh, I got somebody right now. You're just going to write down right here, this person's an A because they're an ambassador. They're hooking you right up. And then you're just going to write a little note out here. It's like, da 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 da. Homeboy hooked me up with, this other guy at work. Awesome.
all right.
And you're just going to go through. I guarantee you got probably 500 or 600 people in your phone at least. Even if it's just like people from your freaking duty section, over the years that you've got saved in your phone or whatever. So
Nice.
I believe. Yeah, so once you download those guys, this whole module right here will tell you how to do it step by step. And
Okay.
then you can also talk to Devin about it because we put him we put him on video and had him do this like live on Zoom with us and we walked him through it. He was so fucking scared, but he ended up doing it and he called two people and they were super receptive and he ended up setting up appointments to go talk to him over the weekend.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
He just picked two people out of his contact and
yeah, he just picked two people that he knew from the boat that he was tight with. He called them and they're like, "What? You're doing real estate? That is so dope. I'm so happy for you. You're gonna crush it." And then he's like, "What are you doing this weekend?" They're like, "Oh, got this fucking kickback. You should come." What does he do? He goes to the kickback and he meets like seven more people. And they're like, "Yo, Devin's doing real estate. Come holler at him." And like it just grew from there.
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he's a super shy kid too, you know?
He looks like it. Yeah, he looks like it.
He really
And
is.
obviously, he thought he wasn't gonna do that well because of, who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He was like super supportive. That was cool. She was
Yeah.
like, "Nah, you'll do wonderful. Come on,
He's
you'll kill it."
he's got a lot of like there's been a lot of people in his head over his lifetime that
Definitely,
like
definitely.
have,
I mean, he's been through a lot. You can tell. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So,
It's hard to break those like but we those are debilitating thoughts. We call them
I mean, you know how we are, man. Especially, black folks, old school. They're now receptive and open to somebody who's different.
exactly.
That's just the truth, man. And
It's that whole
if they're
thing of,
gonna get they're
"Oh,
gonna get
don't
into your
try
head and
that.
they're gonna mess you up, and
Don't try that. You're going to mess up and you're going to look stupid and it's not going to and it's like they're like afraid for you. And
right.
this is like this goes across so many different cultures too. Like even like in the South where I was raised, they're like, don't don't be putting yourself out there. Like nobody likes a salesman. No, it's all salesmen are pushy or, like don't get caught trying hard because if you get caught trying hard and you don't succeed, you'll look like a fool.
Right.
Like that's the dumbest thing ever.
That
You know what I
is.
mean?
That
You're
is.
never
It's a
gonna get
backward.
anywhere in life
It's a
like that.
backward mentality, man.
Exactly.
Backward. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like we gotta overcome all those bad mental thoughts. And again, like that's why we have this whole chapter down here for personal development. All this stuff in here. And this, like, I've just gotten started with this. I got probably like 3 times as much information to put in here on this section. But
Is that what you changed last? You were saying on the text that you add some things or you change some things, or is that what it was? Or
yeah. Yeah, I'm doing a lot to this. I mean, this is a living document that I'm constantly adding new things to all the time.
uh,
Yeah. I mean, this is 10 years of figuring stuff out and there's a ton more that I just haven't, put in here yet. Um, For me, this is going to be kind of a lifelong journey, you know.
working document, right?
Yeah. So by the time I'm dead and gone, this thing will be so big it'll be like it'll take up a whole shelf on the library at the library.
You probably be like on the ship. You know how you follow the car to do maintenance check and all that.
Hmm.
Somebody sold that to the Navy at some point, and making it's probably dead and gone now, and then his family's still making money off this
Yep.
program. You know
Yep.
the 301, the
Uh,
maintenance, the whole thing, and
yep.
MRP and this and the MIP.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
All those maintenance manuals, those MEMS, those MEPs, those
yeah,
freaking, all that stuff. Yeah, basically that's what I'm doing here. Just created memes for us.
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, we covered a lot of ground here. I wanted to introduce you to a lot of that stuff. Next week when we get back together, I'm gonna have T schedule us, because I can't schedule for shit. That's just a weak spot that I have, but she's good at it, so I'll let her do it. But
Okay,
when we get back together next week, we'll go through more of the database process together. Maybe look
okay,
at your database if you end up getting it done this week.
okay.
And then we'll check in on your classes, see how all that stuff's going, and just take it easy from there, step by step.
Sounds great, man.
Cool.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Little by little, because you did give me a lot. So,
Yeah. It's
but
it's a lot, and I try not to overwhelm you, but I just want you to get familiarized with like it seems like a lot now because you're getting introduced to a lot of these new platforms like the coaching manual and then the school platform and then also your real estate classes. Like it's a lot of new things happening, but you're gonna sit with these for a while. You know what I'm saying? So like you're gonna be using them for a long period of time, and then it's just gonna be like one of those other things like I know this thing like the back of my hand. No big deal. Yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah. So with that being said, like I think we've covered enough ground for today. Did you have any save rounds before we break?
Now, the only thing I wanted to know is, you already told me where to find those classes and start.
Yeah.
Um, I was just wondering, and I asked. Obviously, I just told you I asked Hala, and she said, "Oh, I used this, then it didn't work, and I used that," and I'm like, I mean, okay, let me ask the professional. You
Just come
know,
to me.
where do you guys go and get these classes? Because I want to do it one time and the correct
Yeah.
way.
I
Not
love the
where,
idea of like, learning from peers about like what are you doing and how and I love to take in all that new information because sometimes you like get introduced to something that's better than what you have and you wouldn't know if you just, shut that out. So I'm always open to it. But at the end of the day, like I'm setting a standard over what I know works. And so what I'm telling you works is because it's tried and true. So I would say like,
definitely.
yeah,
Or we listen
listen
to
to
the
other
professionals,
people's
right?
feedback, but come to me for the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably the main thing I wanted to ask today.
Yeah.
How you get those classes started, and because I didn't want to, yeah, do this, and then I do it, and then like, oh no, like I wasted my time,
Yeah.
effort, and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the only big question I had. But
Yeah.
beside
I
that,
used Allied for my initial classes. I used it for my like annual like well whatever semi-annual recertification because you got to do continuing education. And then I even took them for my broker's courses. So I've used them for everything. They're great.
Are you a broker too?
I got like two more classes to go. I pick it up and then like business goes crazy or something changes. I spend more time with you guys and I put it down. Just,
Oh, you're trying to
it's
do a
one of those things.
one stop shop, like everything done in house.
Yeah.
That's gonna be.
It's always been a goal of mine to become a broker, but I don't need it. You know what I mean? Like I know enough that I probably know as much as any broker does. I probably know more than a lot of brokers do actually. But it's just a matter of going through the classes and then taking the exam. And since I don't need it for the next step of my career at all, it's just a thing I wanted to have. It always just gets kind of put on the back burner when things get busy. So
I mean, it'd be good to have a one stop shop, don't you think? Like, hey, they come in first step, second step, third step, and finish it off with you. Start and
yeah,
finish.
yeah.
Isn't that what Scott Evans is doing? No,
Uh,
the young man we went to see on yesterday, I think it was.
yeah. I mean, Scott's in lending. It's he runs a whole different program than what I'm trying to do over here. I agree with some of the stuff he does, but then a lot of the stuff he does, I don't really support. I'm like, that's really like Scott oriented. It's not really like for the agents as much. So,
I mean, he's about him. He loves some him. You can
oh, he
tell.
loves him some him. Oh, yes. He's got a picture of himself above the fireplace. That's the kind of guy he is.
Oh man, and he's thorough too. I like that.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. I was telling Miss T yesterday. I got a text, a call, emails like right away, and it was straight to the point. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like execution, he's like, I mean, he's world class. I give him that. Like, if I had his execution skills, be a whole different conversation. But what he lacks in like education, training, empathy, like building people up, that's what I have. So we're just like, you know, we operate on two completely different levels.
I can see that. Yeah, he's about his money. He's about him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's about that paper. Yep. I mean, that's okay. In real estate, you can do that. But me, like, I want each and every one of you guys that comes through to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can be. And if I do that well, the paper takes care of itself.
Without you telling me you was in the military, I can tell you was in the military.
Yeah, it is not hard.
People first, mission always.
That's it.
Definitely,
Yep. You take care of the people, the mission will work itself out. You don't take care of
definitely.
the people, doesn't matter how much you focus on the mission, you won't have anybody to do it.
Negative.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've always said that. I got roasted in the military for it. I just got hammered. They were like, you can't. They would always tell me like, you can't focus on the people like that. You got to just push, push, push. And I'm like, dude, you ain't gonna have nobody around to push if you keep doing that.
And that's what's happening right now. That's
Yep,
what's happening right now.
exactly.
We minus in in stores right now. So
Yep.
I don't know how they're gonna overcome that by giving
Mhm.
away bonuses left and right. Probably that's what they're doing now. But
They have to. They got to bribe people to come back.
uh,
Yeah, we know better though. You've been around long enough, you know. I've been around long enough. We've seen it happen over. So when people are like,
yeah,
"Oh, you can't do that," I'm like, "Don't even talk to me, man. Like,
yeah.
fine.
People always, man.
you don't want to promote me. You don't want to pin me because we have a difference of opinion about this. That's fine. I'd rather be the guy that retires as a freaking first class, because I did things the right way and inspire a generation, of master chiefs underneath me that did things the right. I would rather be that guy than the guy that got 2 stars by being a piece of shit
Yeah.
and leaving, devastation in my wake. I'm
Stepped
sorry.
on everybody, stab people.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sorry.
can't do it.
Sleep
Can't do it.
fine at night. I sleep so good at night. And the cool thing about it too is that's why I can pick up the phone now and people that know me from the military are like, "Hey, yeah, 100%. I'll send people your way."
Yeah,
Because I
just like
left it good. Yes, because I cared about people.
it
Not to
goes a
say
long
that I
way.
don't like hold a high standard. I have a high standard of excellence. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of people that can attest to that, but you also have to give a shit, you know? You have
Goes a
to
long way.
realize what's holding people back and fix it so they can do a high level of work for you. You know?
Goes a long way, man.
Yeah. Can't just be cracking whips all the time, you know?
Don't
All
work for
right,
everybody.
sir.
All right.
Well, thanks for hanging out. I
Hey,
will.
thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Yep. You have a good one. I'll see you.
Do so. All right.